thought they might have done that, but I was like, no, they won't run the field. Like, no, they did very well. Yeah, and obviously they don't start this side until this side to the field. Yeah, it's very, very clear. And then, of course, on the way down here, my brain was like, okay, we need to get our big flyer out. Like, I know it's February, but we need to get our big flyer out because it's September now. It's the middle of September already. I was like, the biggest way for 6 weeks on a cruise overseas. So we need at least the flyer and the entries available before November. We're only 8 weeks away, and I was like, oh my God, we don't have much time. We're ready to work out and we need a big flyer.
Have to look at the program because most people offer things differently.
Yes, and I know, I don't know whether you look at the catering flat, but I said that you might do the 50 rest, 100 rest, 50 rest, I said, you need to find a flyer where they've run the order and events quite well. I said, you print out some
Hello and welcome back to the 2025-2026 UNCLOUD Victorian Age Short Course Championships. We are back this morning for session 3, so our first session of the day. And we're starting it off with event 65, the boys 15 to 18 400 metre IM. Now we do have five-timed finals in this event. And we're kicking it off with heat 1. Really is anyone's race turning into this backstroke leg now, but it looks like it will be our lane 6 swimmer, Nicholas that touches in first there with a 107.96 after his first leg of his 400 metre IM. Now we know that there's a lot to think about in a 400 metre IM. You've got lots of different turns that you'll see, but not only that, they're doing quite a lot of laps. So 4 laps of each stroke in our short course pool today. I'm really liking Nicholas's transitions at the moment. Those turns really showcasing his skills. And he's only just lengthened that lead that little bit more in this backstroke leg. So it'll be interesting to see how much our leadership changes in this breaststroke. Now it looks like our boy from Geelong is quite the breaststroker there, and he's looking to take over that first place spot in this heat. It looks like it will be Reese that touches in first. So we've had a change of leaders with a 3:12.02. So Reese really took it out in the breaststroke there. We talk about our breaststroke leg in our IM being our make or break stroke. So if breaststroke's your strong stroke, you've got ample opportunity to close that gap and take over that leadership position. Reese has put about 5 metres in front now. If Reese can maintain this lead now going into his freestyle, he's only going to lengthen that lead in his freestyle. We do know that once that breaststroke has changed, we've had our change in leadership in that breaststroke, not much changes in that freestyle. So Reese should take out this first heat. Reese will lead us there into our last 50. It looks like his teammate is really making his move in this freestyle leg. And he'll touch there Oscar in second. And then Nicholas just holding on to that third place spot. As we come underneath the flags now, it looks like it will be Reese that takes out heat 1 of our 400 IM with a 5:05.57, closely followed by his teammate Oscar with a 5:11.25. And then Nicholas held on to that third place there with a 5:14.53. And we have heat 2 of 5 in the water, away and swimming. What a fantastic start to our butterfly from our middle lanes there. It's pretty even across this first 50, but it looks like lane 5 might just get his hands on the wall that little bit quicker. Jarrah taking out that first 50 with a 30.1. But Sam is on his tail there with a 30.07, so not even a second separating those two boys at the moment. Now Sam Hartley there taking over that leadership position in that second 50 of his butterfly leg. And Sam there just showcasing how important those underwater skills are. Every time he's turning, he's lengthening that gap that little bit more from the rest of the field. Slowly gaining on him though is our lane 1 swimmer, Kalen. Now he sits in second at the moment, but he may just get on that wall that little bit quicker. Boys are turning at the exact same time there. Looks like Theodore is going to take over that first place spot in this breaststroke leg. Just having the better of turns there, just quicker off the wall. But Sam's not giving it up too easy here. Theodore's going to maintain that lead. Really liking how much drive he has from those breaststroke arms. He's really driving himself forward. Kalen there picking up that stroke rate and starting to incorporate those legs. He's got quite a significant lead on the rest of the pack here. Sam Hartley is really working hard in this freestyle to close that gap. He dropped off a little bit after that backstroke leg, but he's looking to come back and bring it home. And Sam has closed that gap significantly, but it doesn't look like it will be enough for this heat, and it will be Kalen that takes out that heat to the 4:58.3, closely followed by Sam Hartley with a 4:52.59. Sam closed that gap significantly in that last 50 there. Just like that, heat 3 are in the pool with us now. It's pretty even across that first 25 there. Nothing in it with those boys. So it will really come down to this backstroke and breaststroke leg. Lane 3, though, touching in first there with our only sub-30 time of a 29.91. So just scraping in at that under 30. Looks like he'll maintain that lead going into this backstroke leg. But lane 5 there having the best underwater of the pack. We talk a lot about how these underwater skills are so important, and they're even more important in short course season. It looks like it will put our swimmer in lane 5 out in front. And Daniel just a little bit quicker to get his feet on the wall there. But Edward's got a really nice underwater and breakout, so he's surfacing that little bit further in front from everyone else. Seeing a couple of different turns there. You've got your bucket turn, you've got your touch turn, and you've got your crossover turn. It really depends on which athlete is confident with what turn. Something that they will probably discuss with their coaches. What a great breaststroke leg it is here from lane 7. William Bryan really closing that gap in this breaststroke leg, and Leon in lane 1. And this is just proof here about how important that breaststroke leg is. Leon there taking over our leadership. And it will be Leon that leads us into this last 100 meters, so his freestyle leg. And he doesn't look like he's slowing down. He's looking to lengthen that gap even more. And with 50 meters left to swim, he's turning in a 4:10.05. He's entered today with a 4:57.89. So it looks like he's going to do a huge PB there, and he touches the wall with a 4:41.13. It will be Daniel there that touches in second with a 4:44.81. We're nearing the end of our event 65 with heat 4 of 5 away in swimming. Now we've got a couple boys in here that we've seen race quite a bit over the last 2 days. So Samuel Mills out in lane 0, Harry Kumar in lane 9, and then Zayden in lane 3. Looks like it will be Adam though that takes out that first 50 with a 27.39. Adam having a dominating lead in this butterfly. And he'll lead us into this backstroke leg with the only sub-minute time on the board with a 59.53. And can he maintain that through this backstroke and this breaststroke leg? Lane 8 there, Ben Merrily is looking to close that gap between himself and Adam here in this backstroke leg. And he has done just that. Will be Ben Merrilees there that touches with a 2:11.09, and he leads us into this breaststroke leg. These boys are really going stroke for stroke down this 100 meters breaststroke. Adam there opting to stay that little bit higher in the water, but we know that that's quite tiring, and across this 100 meters, can he maintain that? Now it's quite a battle here in lane 4. Mitchell has really snuck in on this breaststroke. It looks like it will be Mitchell that touches in first there, and he'll lead us into this freestyle. Now Adam there just having the better of underwaters, which really pulled him out in front again. And Adam regains his lead there into our last 50. But can he hold on to that? Because Mitchell is trying to close that gap. It will be Adam that takes out heat 4 there with a 4:37.99. Closely following there is Mitchell with a 4:39.98. And then Zayden in third with a 4:41.09. We have our 5th and final heat in the pool. So these are our fastest boys of the morning in this 400 metre IM. Now most of these boys that are racing have an absolutely stacked program this weekend, so it'll be really important that they warm up and they cool down. Now what a great start there from lane 9. Now outside lanes having a fantastic race, lane 0 and lane 9. Looks like Riley there though. Riley Hodgkins will touch him first and lead us into this backstroke leg. Riley Hodgkins remaining our leader into this next 50. But it really is anyone's race still. Like we said, we talk about our breaststroke leg being our make or break leg of our IM. It really is a race here between lane 0, lane 3 and lane 9. Will be Kynan Power that touches him first there with a 2:11.70. Now we know that Kynan's strong strokes are butterfly and backstroke, so it'll be interesting to see here what happens in the breaststroke. Lane 5 there, Harry Heath. No, Harry's just pulled away ever so slightly in this breaststroke leg. These underwaters really helping him. And he's gained about a body length and a half on Callum Risotto there. We'll come underneath the flags now. And it will be Harry Heath that takes out heat 5 of 5 with a 4:37.8. Closely followed by Callum Rosetta with a 4:33.74. And we're starting event 66, the boys 12-year-olds 100-meter freestyle. We have 5 heats in this event this morning. Lane 5 there, Jaden Lee will lead us into the second 50. Now we've seen Jaden race quite a few times over this weekend. Looks like he's just ready to back it up with this 100 free. Really is the middle of the pool that we're watching. Trying to close that gap is our swimmer from DVE in lane 5, but it will be Jaden Lee that touches with a sub-minute time of 59.85. Following closely Jason Wang with a 1:00.61. And often swimming is heat 2. And these first 3 heats are circle-seated heats, which means we've got our fastest qualifiers in the middle of the pool with us. And it is Billy Main that touches in first there. Billy has had an absolutely stacked program so far. We've seen some fantastic PBs from him and a few final swims. And it looks like he's ready to do the same in this 100-meter freestyle. And he's pulled away from the rest of the pack, and what a dominating win that was from Billy Main with a 1:00.17. Isaac Kelly Rupert Davin in second with a 1:01.27, closely followed by Isaac Kelly. And this is heat 3. And what a head-to-head battle we have in the middle of the pool with us. Lane 4 and 5 going stroke for stroke down this first 50. Will be Thomas Grasso that gets his feet on that wall that little bit quicker with a 28.88. Now it really is first, second and third with these lanes. Will be lane 4 that led us from start to finish there. Thomas with a 1:00.62. Yi Yang closely following in lane 6 with a 1:01.51. And then Tommy in lane 5 with a 1:01.54. And we're approaching the end of our heat swims for our 100-meter freestyle. We've got heat 4 away and swimming. And it is our lucky lane 4 that will get his feet on the wall first with a 31.08. And what a dominating win that was, led from start to finish with a 1:03.87, lane 4. And then following is Lucas Dew out in lane 7 with a 1:05.47. And this is heat 5 of 5. So our final heat for our freestyle. Lane 1 there, Aaron will touch in first and lead us into this second 50. Here's a battle between Caulfield and Geelong here though. It will be Aaron that touches in first, taking out heat 5 of 5 with a 1:02.83. Closely followed there by lane 4, Spencer Stanley with a 1:04.58. And this is event 68, the boys 13-year-old 100-metre freestyle. So we're switching from our 12-year-olds to our 13-year-olds. So a little bit more experienced here, probably done as states before. What a great start there from Lachlan Bull in lane 5. He'll touch in a 27.11, but there's really nothing in it with these boys, not even a second between lane 4, lane 5 and lane 6. Now it will be these two teammates that are going to take first and second. Looks like it will be Han Tang Wang that touches in first there with a 55.30, and then Lachlan Bull in second with a 56.63. And this is heat 2. What a great first 50 from our outside lane. Lane 9 there. But it will be Joseph in lane 2 that gets on that wall that little bit quicker. Coming down underneath the flags now will be lane 3 that takes out heat 2 with a 57.42. But Ethan following in lane 6 with a 57.65. Heat 3 of 5 away and swimming. Now we've got a couple of our boys in those middle 3 lanes, lane 3, 4 and 5. But we've seen race across this weekend quite a few times already. You've got Andrew Wang, Thomas Poppins and Cooper Scott. They had a fantastic day yesterday. So it's really going to be a battle here on who takes out that third 50. It looks like Thomas Poppins is going to maintain this lead coming underneath the flags now. It will be Thomas Poppins that takes out that heat with a 57.15. Cooper Scott sitting in second there with a 58.01. And then it will be Thomas in lane 6 with a 58.40. And up and away is heat 4. What a great start there from lane 2. Having the better of starts with the dive and the good underwater. It really is anyone's race going into this second 50. But it looks like it will be Matthew Kim. What a fantastic swim from our Geelong boy out in lane 0. Looks like he'll get on the wall that little bit quicker with a 101.18. Closely followed by Cooper. Cooper there finishing in a 101.54. This is our 5th and final heat. What a great start there from Dylan Murray. Now we know Dylan's a little bit of a distance swimmer. We watched him do a couple of his distance events yesterday. We watched him in the 400 free. And he will lead us into the second 50 of this 100. So Dylan can not only dominate a 400 free, he can also dominate a 100 free. There's not too many people that can sprint and do distance swimming. He's just that little bit quicker onto the wall, but these boys are looking to close that gap down this last 25. Looks like lane 5 has just creeped up on him, and lane 5 will take that win. Raymond Grave with a 101.08, but Dylan Murray is snuck in there for second with a 101.35. There's nothing separating those boys. we turn our attention away from our 100-metre freestyle and we move on to our 200-metre freestyle. Then 70, the boys 14-year-olds 200-metre freestyle. Now we have 3 heats of the 200 freestyle in the pool with us this morning. Now, we talked a little bit yesterday about how these 200s were considered middle distance events, so not necessarily a sprint, but not quite a distance race. But we're starting to see a shift in that 200-metre freestyle, and it is starting to look a little bit more like a sprint. Now we're in our third 50 here, so it'll be interesting to see who starts to make their move now. Lane 4 has maintained his lead pretty much from start to finish there. What a fantastic swim there from lane 4. He'll touch in a 1:59.99, so the only sub 2-minute time we have on the board so far. And this is heat 2 of 3. A swimmer from Surrey Park dominating this first 50. And it is Ishak Ismail that touches there with a 26.44. And he is an absolutely incredible athlete. We've watched him race stacks and stacks of races over short course season, and I think we counted yesterday he had 11 events in his program this weekend. And what a dominating lead for Ishak Ismail there. Now, Ishak has really got the lead here, and I'd be very surprised if anyone could catch him now, but it is a little bit of a battle for 4th spot now. It will be Ishak Ismail that takes out that heat 2 with a 1:57.21. will be Ashton that touches in second there in lane 5 with a 2:03.38. But Tom closely following, creeping in on that third spot with a 2:03.71. This is our third and final heat. Lane 3 there, great start to his race, but can he maintain that? He's gone out really fast. And it will be Daniel Collins in lane 3. Now Isaac just dropping off on those legs a little bit now. Slowly creeping up is Campbell Mills out in lane 7. Now Campbell's another one that we've watched over Metros and now at age. It's interesting to see here two different kinds of race plans. You've got, you go out hard and fast, and then you've got your race plan where you sort of make your move in that third 50. And it looks like Campbell Mills's race plan was to make his move now. He started to incorporate that kick, move those arms that little bit faster. Will be Daniel Collins that holds on to that first spot though with a 2:01.85. Campbell Mills closing that gap, but it wasn't just enough, and he'll touch in a 2:03.76. We kick off event 72, the boys' 15-year-old 100-metre freestyle. Now we have 4 heats in this event this morning. What a flying start there from Leo Dong, and he will turn in first. But Liam Paulson is following him and wants to close that gap. There's nothing in these two. And stroke for stroke. And as they come underneath the flags now, it will be Leo Dong that just gets there ever so slightly with a 52.33, and Liam Paulson following with a 52.47. And heat 2 away in swimming. Looks like it will be Harrison Main that leads us into the next 50. Now, Harrison Main had a fantastic country short course champs, and he's back to do the same at age. Here's Harrison Main that takes out heat 2 with a 53.10, and he'll be racing in the final tonight. And heat 3, and this is an even field in this first 25. Lane 7 having a fantastic start to his race there. Really is nothing in it coming underneath the flags. Looks like it will be lane 4 though. Jacob Ritchie's that takes out our heat 3. We've got our 4th and final heat in the pool, just the 2 boys. It's a little bit like a swim off this morning. Now in lane 3, you've got Cormac Flynn. In lane 5, you have Noah. Now both of these boys are very similar on entry time, so on paper it should be a close race, and it's playing out exactly as that, but it does look like Noah is pulling away, and it will be Noah that touches in first there with a 56.32, and Cormac Flynn touching with a 58.02. And this is event 74, the boys 16-year-olds 100-metre butterfly. And Eli Billman there in lane 4, fantastic underwater. Will be Luca Brown though that leads us into the second 50, but Eli pulling away now, hoping to take this heat. It will be Eli Billman that touches in first there, closely followed by Luca Brown. And this is heat 2. Not a great start there from lane 4. Lewis G, who we've seen race a few times over the weekend. And it is lane 2. Miller Scott that's sitting in second, but Kynan Power trying to close that gap for that second spot. Kynan really showcasing those underwater skills there. But it looks like no one is catching Lewis G, and he will touch in first with a 57.72. Will be Miller Scott that touches in second with a 58.49, and then Kynan holding on for that third place with a 58.92. And heat 3 away and swimming. Now we see Harry Krumar come back for this 100 fly. He's had an absolutely stacked program, but it will be Bart that takes out that first 50. And we know that Bart is incredible underwater, and he's also an incredible fly swimmer. So I would not be surprised if he can maintain this lead in this last 25. Harry is looking to close the gap though, but will it be enough? Looks like it will be Bart that takes out that heat with a 57.22, but Harry closing that gap ever so slightly and finishing at a 57.64, so nothing is separating those. So this final tonight is going to be exciting. This is our fourth and final heat. And it's Liam Walker in lane 4 that had the better of those first 25s. But our outside lane 8 there. Will be our swimmer from Melbourne Swimming Club that leads us into the second 50. Really is anyone's race for second here though. It's really even across this field, so it's going to come down to this last 25. and leading from start to finish. It is Liam Walker with a 101.90. We kick off event 76, the boys 17 and 1800 metre freestyle. So we're looking at our more experienced athletes here, and we have 4 heats. So these guys will be looking at their last age champs for some of them. What a great race there from Campbell, Wilson, Moran. That touches with a sub 50 time with a 49.81. And this is heat 2 here. Really is a head-to-head battle between lane 4 and 5. Will be George that gets his feet on that little bit quicker. Felix closely following. Now we know that Felix has had quite a few breaststroke events. Well known for his breaststroke. And it will be George that touches him first with a 53.8. Closely followed by Felix, who's holding on to that second spot with a 51.08. And then Adam, who we saw race earlier with a 51.56 sitting in that third. This is heat 3, so we're nearing the end of event 76. What a great underwater there from our outside lane. It'll be lane 5 though. That leads us into the second 50, and he has quite a dominating lead at the moment, but these boys are looking to close that gap. Looks like Ashley Nichols is not letting him get away with it too easy. Here's a battle between 4 and 5 here. will be lane 4, Ashley Nichols, who's closed that gap so nicely in that second 50 with a 51.14. And then Tian Berger holding on in lane 5 for second with a 51.48. This is our 4th and final heat now. Looks like lane 2 will lead us into our second 25. Sam Wells leading us into the second 50 with a 26.24. But these boys next to him are closely following. There's nothing in it, not even a second. It looks like lane 5 was able to close that gap, and he will finish in first there with a 55.07. Sam Wells holding on for second with a 55.21. So our event 81, the boys 13-year-olds 200 metre butterfly has gone to a straight final. So we'll see those boys race tonight. So we're skipping to event 83, boys 14-year-olds 100 metre IM. Kick off at the 100 metre IM. This is heat 1 of 4. Now I always love watching 100 metre IM because it is the only event that you can race over just short course seasons. So this is 25 metres of each stroke. So this is a little bit of a fun one. And we do have Ishak Ismail back and racing. He is in lane 4, and then you've got Aiden Ramos in lane 5. Now both of these boys, well-known athletes, performing really well at these championship events. But it looks like it will be Ishak Ismail that touches in first there with a 1:00.60. Then Aiden Ramos in second with a 1:03.56. So we'll hopefully see both of those boys in the finals tonight. And this is heat 2. Now, because you're only doing 25 meters of each stroke, these transitions are going to have to be really fast. From stroke to stroke, you've obviously got your butterfly to backstroke turn, your backstroke to breaststroke turn, and then your breaststroke to freestyle turn. So lots to think about. Will be Ryan Atlas that leads us in this first 50 though, with a 29.01. So two of our boys sitting very close, lane 6 and lane 5. Both with that sub 30 time, but pulling away in the breaststroke now. So we're seeing lane 4 there, pull away in that breaststroke leg, and he will touch in first with a 1:01.39. Lane 6 there though, Ryan Atlas touching in second with a 1:03.61. Heat 3 away and swimming. Lane 6 there, just making that butterfly look so easy in that first 25 of his IM. Will be Xavier Gray that leads us into the second 50 after that beautiful butterfly and backstroke leg. There's quite a battle coming underneath the flags now between our two boys. Will be Jaden that touches in first though in lane 4, closely followed by Xavier Gray in lane 6. This is our fourth and final heat. Looks pretty even across this field in this first 50. Looks like it'll be lane 1 that touches in first there, but we always talk about our breaststroke being our make or break leg of our IM. So be interesting to see who pulls away in that breaststroke and who's not quite as strong in their breaststroke and hangs back for the freestyle. Like our outside lane 8 there, is doing a great job in this second 50. It's not quite enough because Blake in lane 5 is going to touch in first after an incredible breaststroke leg there. We start event 85. The boys 15-year-olds 200-meter backstroke. Now you'll probably see on the side of the pool we have our backstroke ledge volunteers. So these guys help us set up our backstroke ledges for our athletes. And then they remove them because they can't have them in the pool after that 50-meter mark. So once they do their turn, backstroke ledge will need to be out of the pool before that. Now Oliver Callio here leading us in this 100-meter mark. And he's got quite a dominating lead there. We always know in this third 50 our legs and our arms start to burn. So can he maintain that in the next two 50s, so our last 100 meters? Looks like Oliver has maintained his lead. he'll touch in a 2:10.45. And it will be Sam Hartley that touches in a 2:13.14 for that second spot. And this is heat 2 of 3 of our 200-metre backstroke. We've seen a few of these boys race this morning. You've got Leo Dong and Liam Paulson. Leo swimming out of lane 3 and Liam swimming out of lane 4. It will be Liam that takes out that first 50 with the only sub-30 time on the board with a 29.58. Really loving Liam's backstroke. He just looks like he's on a holiday. It's smooth, it's easy. I always say if an athlete makes a stroke look easy, that's what makes them a good swimmer. Liam there just strengthening that lead even more. And we've got 25 metres to go for Liam. He will definitely secure himself a spot in the final later today. What a great race there from Liam Paulson, who touches in a 2:09.98.
said Brett won the kids times from February. I said, so he might have improved 5 seconds by then. Yeah.
No, you know, really countries can come off a holiday with Europe without a change.
And you can't jump in. And you told Jack yesterday.
No, he's probably trained 6 countries. Hasn't trained 14 times, only trained 3 times.
This is our third and final heat of the boys' 15-year-olds 200-metre backstroke. Really showcasing those skills with the underwaters are our middle lanes. Lane 4 in particular. Ben Merrilees, we've seen him race this weekend already. He's just edging forward every time because of how good his underwaters are. At the 100-metre mark, Ben Merrilees only strengthens that lead. He'll lead us with a 1:02.89. It is a little bit of a battle for second, and we know that getting that second place in heats is really important because that might just secure you that spot in the final tonight. So not meddling off our heats this morning, but you're definitely trying to beat the people in your heat or in your event so that you can make that top 10 for that final. And Ben Merrilees has led us from start to finish. Now we're touching a 2:10.34. And it will be Will Frame that finishes in second there.
Otherwise it makes it a long day, very long day.
This is event 87, the boys' 16-year-old 200-metre backstroke. We have Luca Brown out in lane 4, just making a great start there in this backstroke. Will be Luca Brown that touches in first with our only sub-30 time on the board with a 29.26. And we've seen some fantastic swims from Luca Brown, in particular that backstroke. And Luca Brown has quite the lead here in this 200 backstroke, but Kynan Power back and racing again. He will sit in second. Luca Brown here will take out heat 1 of 3 with a 2:06.79. Kynan Power touching in second there with a 2:10.71. What a fantastic swim there from Kynan, backing up race after race. He has 10 events in his program for this weekend, so absolute champion taking on these back-to-back races. And this is event 87, the boys 16-year-olds, 200-metre backstroke. Now we have 3 heats in this event. So same as our 15-year-olds, just the 3 heats this morning. Leading us into the second 50, though, will be Zayden Burton will lead us with a 29.82. So again, our only sub-30 time on the board in this heat. Yash in lane 6, trying to close that gap between him and Jaden. Jaden's got quite the lead, but it is a little bit of a battle for second between these 3 boys. Will be Jaden out in lane 4. That touches him first with a 2:10.23. Taking that second spot is Lamal Janursa, touching in a 2:12.93. And this is heat 3 of 3. It will be Lewis G that touches in first in that first 25. Lewis leading us into this next 50. And we've seen Lewis G race a few times this weekend as well. What a lead there from Lewis G. We head into our last 50 now. Underneath the flags, it will be Lewis G that takes out heat 3 of 3. The 2:12.87 will be Lucas K that touches in second with a 2:16.95. Then Marley Sutherland in third in lane 5 with a 2:17.69. A bit of a delay on that start there with our backstroke ledge. Now we are continuing with our 200-meter backstroke, but this time we are looking at our 17 and 18-year-old boys. So there's 2 heats of this morning. looks like Joshua Wachowski is going to touch in a 29.85 and lead us into the second 50. It really is stroke for stroke between these two boys. It's going to be Tom that touches in first this time with a 2:02.35, but it really is anyone's race. And don't discount our lane of 5 swimmer there, Joshua. Tom's race plan is obviously to go out at easy speed and then in that third 50 make his move. And he has done just that and has quite the dominating lead here. But having an incredible last 50 is lane 6. But it's not quite enough, and it looks like it will be Tom that touches in first with a 2:10.29. But lane 6 touching with a 2:10.50. So nothing in it between those two boys. This is our second and final heat. Now lane 3 swimmer Blake Hughes. Having a great start to this 200-metre backstroke. He will turn in first with a sub 30 time of 29.51. It is Benjamin Nolter, though, that's looking to close that gap between him and Blake. And these boys are going stroke for stroke down this 200-metre backstroke. They have quite a significant gain on the rest of the field, so they're really racing their own race here. It's still Benjamin Nolter that gets his feet on the wall that little bit quicker. It will be Blake that touches in first there with a 2:08.03, but Benjamin Nolter touching in second with a 2:08.24. So nothing in it between those two boys. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do in the final tonight. Still sticking with our 200-metre backstroke, but shifting our focus to our 12-year-olds in the pool now. We have 3 heats of our 12-year-old 200-metre backstroke this morning.
Right, Darby.
In lane 4, we have Elijah Lamont. I've seen Elijah swim over the weekend. A few dominating swims, and now is no different. Look at the lead he has in just that first 50 metres. Now Elijah's stroke rate is quite high here, so it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that speed through his second 100. He touches there in a 1:10.06. Our second place swimmer there, Austin, is 5 seconds behind Elijah Lamont. So Elijah has maintained that lead, and it would be hard to catch him now. Elijah will touch there with a 2:28.04. And it's Austin Baxter will touch in second with a 2:35.42. This is heat 2 of 3. Lane 4 swimmer there having it our excellent start, fantastic underwater. And it's put him out in front in this first 50. Now his stroke rate's quite high, so it'll be interesting to see if he can maintain that through the whole 200 metres. But he's doing a fantastic job at maintaining that across this first 100. Here's Yi Yang that will lead us in that first 100 metres with a 1:08.67. Now he has a significant lead on the rest of the pack here. With 50 metres left to swim, he hasn't dropped off too much, so he's maintained that stroke rate and that kick this whole 200. Will be Yi Yang there that led from start to finish with a 2:23.55. And Patrick Clark out in lane 6 with a 2:33.44. And Isaac Kelly, who we've seen race this morning, touching in third there with a 2:34.87. This is heat 3 of 3. Daniel out leading us in this second 50 with a 33.85. Just making that backstroke look really easy. He's got a significant lead over the rest of the pack there in that first 100. Be surprised if anyone caught him now. And over there in second is Gianluca. And he's just holding on to that second, but the lane 2 swimmer is looking to close that gap between him and Gianluca. with 50 metres left to swim. Our lane 4 swimmer is still in the lead. He's got 10 metres to swim, and just as he comes underneath the flags now, he's going to touch there in a 2:25.63. This is our boys' 13-year-old 200-metre backstroke. Hentang Wang there leading us in this backstroke. Now we've seen him race an absolutely stacked program so far and break quite a few of those records. With 50 metres left to swim, he touches in a 1:48.5. Now his entry time is a 2:09.67. So he's probably going to look at going that little bit slower before he enters that final tonight. And he'll touch there in first of the 2:17.47. Fraser Blair will touch second with a 2:20.61. This is heat 2 of 3 of our 200-metre backstroke for our 13-year-old boys. To a flying start, there is Harry out in lane 4. Now again, opting to go fast in his first 50, so can he maintain that across that whole 200? So Harry will touch in first there with a 29.85. So our only sub 30 time on the board. Will be Harry that leads us in that first 100 with a 104.80. But Chris out in lane 5, touching in second with a 107, looking to make his move in this third 50. Harry out in lane 4 has dropped off that little bit on that stroke rate and that kick. But he's got quite the lead, so it will be enough coming into the wall now, and he'll touch with a 2:18.09. Closely followed by Chris out in lane 5 with a 2:21.43. And it will be Evan that touches in third with a 2:25.73. And this is our third and final heat for our 13-year-olds 200-metre backstroke. And what a flying start for lane 4 there. And Archie will lead us into this second 50 with 31.10. He's got quite the lead on the rest of the pack at the moment, but we have seen that change in that third 50 previously. Coming underneath the flags now, it will be Archie that touches in first, leading with a 104.99. With 50 metres left to swim, Archie is still in the lead. And he's picked up that stroke rate and started to incorporate those legs that little bit more down this last 25. And Archie will touch in first with a 2:11.60. We're starting event 95, the 200-metre backstroke for our 14-year-old boys. We have 4 heats this morning for our 14-year-old boys.
Campbell Mills off to a fantastic start here, heading into the second turn. He's going to be out in a 30.9. Not too far behind is Aiden Ramos, Oscar Magalotti. Campbell's been working really hard with his coach, Nathan Foote, who's represented Victoria and Queensland overseas in the 200 metres backstroke. So some great knowledge for him to move into this season with. But Aiden Ramos isn't going to let him get away as we move into the second half of the race.
Will be Aiden Ramos that turns in first there, just slightly in front of Campbell Mills. Both of these boys have had an absolutely stacked program over this weekend, so really nice to see our younger athletes be able to back up our races.
75 metres to go now. We've still got Ramos and Mills out in front. It's going to be tight though for third place. You want to make sure in these first 3 heats that you are placing in the top 3 if you want a guaranteed spot in for tonight. Only 0.43 to separate our leaders. Sitting in third, another 0.4 between Oscar Magalotti and Tom Hussey. Final 25 now. Got to make sure that you try to get your hand on the wall to secure a spot for tonight. Looks like Ramos has just picked up the rate a little. I think he wants that centre lane. Be a tight finish here. It is going to be Ramos 2:15.08. Campbell Mills in second 2:16.4, and third Tom Hussey 2:18.89. Heat 2 now of our 200 metres men's 14 years backstroke. Alfred Hann and Michael Fan turning first on that 25. Looking really strong. They've definitely seen what the other boys have thrown down in that previous heat. It's almost an advantage if you're in the second and third heat. You can see what times the other boys are going and to make your adjustments. If the rest of the heats have had some slow swims, then you can make an adjustment towards the end of your race to spare some energy, especially when most of the athletes here are racing 3-4 events in the heats and finals. This is going to be Hann still in the lead, not too far behind is Fan and Aiden Tang. Out just a little bit slower than the previous heat over the first 50. We'll see what they turn in on the first 100.
Will be Alfred Hann that leads us in that first 100 with a 104.47. He's pulled away from the rest of the pack now, so we'll see if he makes this move in this third 50. We've seen some athletes this morning opt to go out really hard in that first 100, and then others that really opt to stay back and then make their move in that third 50. So I think that's exactly what Alfred's doing now. He's making his move, starting that dominant lead.
Final 50, it's really important to make sure on this final 50 you maintain your skills underwater, and especially in the breakouts, people tend to pause and lose their speed over this last 50, but Hann still holding his lead really nicely. He's got a good 2.5 seconds on Michael Fan and Aiden Tang. As we hit the final 25, nice underwater there from Hann. Looking really smooth. He's not overusing his legs, which is good. So I think he'll have a bit more to give tonight as he comes into the wall here. It's a 2:11.18. So our fastest seed so far, 2:14.97 for Michael Fan. Third place will go to Aiden Tang. So our 3 centre lanes take 1, 2 and 3. So we move to Heat 3.
We kick off Heat 3 of 4, so nearing the end of our 14-year-old boys.
Ismail Shak had a fantastic night last night in the finals, and some fantastic underwaters as well to match that. He's already got a body's length on the rest of the field. Very tight for second and third at the moment, though. Let's see. Significantly faster than our 2 previous heats over the first 50. 29.63 for Ishak Ismail. Second, Boderick Coyne and Angus Goodison battling it out. But again, it's just really important to maintain the underwaters throughout this race in backstroke. The top guys in the world, they're only swimming 10 metres per lap because they're going 15 off every single wall. It's the fastest way of travelling in the water. So you have to make sure you take a lot of advantage over it.
Will be Ishak that leads us in that first 100 metres with a 102.59. We were talking a little bit before about how it's been really nice to see our younger athletes back up these races, and Ishak Ismail has a program of 11 events and most he's finaling in. So talk about backing up races. He's your man.
So 2 laps here to go as we approach our second last turn. The Shark's going to turn in a 1:36.25 128.75. So he's got a lot of wriggle room. He could almost just turn the jets off, and the legs have just slowly started to do that. Still got Angus Goodison and Broderick Coyne well ahead of the rest of the field. But with that large program that Ishaq Ismail has, he's got to make sure that he's cooling down and recovering between all of his races in order to maintain such good times and high performances over the meet. That fatigue does add up as he touches in a 209.70 to take out heat 3. Second place will go to Angus Goodison, 215.53, just a second, 0.3 ahead of Broderick Coyne. So all three of those boys under 217.
This is heat 4 of 4, so our final heat in the pool with us now.
Great start from our centre lane, Tavin Luck. He's going to be the first to hit the turn here. Really nice underwaters. So only just 5 swimmers in this final heat of our 200 metres backstroke.
And it will be Tavin that holds on to that lead for that first 50. He'll turn in first with an excellent underwater to match.
Looking really easy at the moment. It's important over this 200 metre distance that over the second 50 you are starting to build your pace and effort just slightly without overdoing the legs, so that you are setting your body up to be able to increase in speed over the last 100 metres. If you set too slow of a pace over that second 50, you can get stuck into a bit of a slow rhythm. As he hit the 100 metre turn to 112.48 for Tavin Luck. Jaden Thatch not far behind, 113.11 on the other side. Thomas Borowicz in third. So 1, 2 and 3 of the 100 metre mark have well and truly separated themselves from 4th and 5th. We'll see if our second and third swimmers can try and make a move on Luck as he turns at a 150.19. Only a second behind is Jaden Thatch. So it's looking like Thatch is going to catch up here. He's just sitting on the hip at the moment of Luck. It's definitely going to come down to who can pop up ahead on this turn. They've turned at the exact same time. It's a fantastic underwater from Thatch. He's popped up ahead now. Great job at setting himself up here to have a really strong final 50. He's now almost put a body's length ahead of Luck as he touches into the wall. It's 228.05 for Jaden Thatch, our winner. Tavin Luck will take second in 229.3. Third place will go down to Noah Behrens, who also had a fantastic final 50, 236.63. So heat 1 of 3 of our 100 metres breaststroke for the 15 years age group. Got some fast entry times here. Byron Geng, our fastest entry for this event. He's off to a fantastic start. He's already got a half a body's length just ahead of Leo Dong. So they touch into the first wall, 30.07 for Byron Geng. Leo Dong not too far behind. Harrison Main as well in lane 2, touching in 3rd. He's put himself ahead of that top side of your screen here, but it is Byron Geng who's well and truly in front here, heading into the last 25. It's a fantastically smooth split stroke here. He's maintaining the rate, high hips in the water. As we come into the flags now, what will the time be for Byron Geng? It's a 103.86 for our winner. Leo Dong will touch in 2nd, and Harrison Main keeps his 3rd place in a 108.64. Definitely a name to watch in this race is Xavier Eagle in lane 4. Every year, fantastic in the breaststroke events. He's touched in first for this 100. Very high stroke rate, darting forward. Here he's already put a body's length on the field, so he's really trying to push that front end speed, probably rehearsing for tonight's final. He goes out in a 29.87. Peter Demetriadis in 2nd, Keith Han in 3rd. But at the moment it is all Xavier Eagle. He's well and truly ahead. 2 bodies lengths now heading into the final turn. Getting great distance off that split stroke as he comes darting into the finish now. Final 10 metres. Leon Vidal's caught right up into the 2nd position. It will be a nice battle for 2nd, but it is going to be Xavier Eagle to touch. 103.53. 2nd will go to Keith Han, 107.29, and 3rd to Leon Vidal, 107.85. Third and final heat for our boys, 15 years, 100 metres breaststroke. Harold Zhu in lane 4, swimming out of MLC Aquatic to take us out first. And again, you just see how important these split strokes are. He's put a body's length just off the turn alone on the rest of the field. James Clare and Ulrich Wong not too far behind though. It's 29.77 for our leader, Zhu, in the centre lane. Ulrich and James not too far behind, just on the shoulder as well. Is Zhuan Song in lane 6 trying to get his hand on the wall for a 2nd or 3rd place, but Harold Zhu has well and truly lit up this race. Fantastic split stroke again, doing a great job of maintaining the rate over the last 15 metres. Will be a tight battle again in this heat for 2nd place. Harold Zhu will touch in a 103.53, and we have a pair of 106s here. Only 0.1 to separate James Clare and Ulrich Wong. They'll take 2nd and 3rd. Change of pace now, 100 metres, men's 16 years freestyle. We've got 4 heats of this event. Our fastest qualifier, Bart Aparowicz, is nice in the head. He's looking very smooth. Not a lot of splash at the top of his stroke on the entry. He's a half a body's length ahead of teammate Luca Brown. As we hit the turn, it's 24.48 for our leader. Luca Brown not too far behind, as well as Gianluca Paradiso. But it is all Bart Aparowicz at the moment. We saw him win last night the 50 metres freestyle in this age group. And you can tell that front end speed is a weapon for him as he's driving into the wall, coming under the flags here. And it's a 50.74 for our winner, Bart Aparowicz. Second will go to teammate Luca Brown, and third to Gianluca Paradiso. So it's looking like we had quite a few finish in the 53 range. As we move to heat 2. Heat 2 now, another gold medalist sprinter from last night, Eli Billman, as well the silver medalist in the 50 freestyle, gold in the 100 metres backstroke. Definitely look to see him utilise the underwaters and the skills on the turns. Fantastic butterfly. You'll see him in the 100 butterfly tonight. So 25.10 for Eli Billman. Second is a tie between William Goldstraw and Lewis Gee. Eli's still on the lead, but it's looking like Lewis Gee's starting to catch up. It's definitely going to come down to the skills. Eli still holding on. It was fantastic underwater there from William Goldstraw. He was just on the feet. We'll see who's going to get the touch here. Eli Billman touches in 52.15. Second will go to William Goldstraw and third to William Gee. So only 3 to be under 54. So it's looking like if you want a spot tonight for this next heat, you're going to need to be definitely in the 53s. We've just already had 7 under 54. So Caulfield duo to take us out here in the centre 2 lanes, Adonis Giotopoulos and William Tan. Adonis Giotopoulos as well had a fantastic 50 metres freestyle last night. He's already got a half a body's length on his teammate William Tan. Zachary Scherer on the other side. So our 3 centre lanes again taking out 1, 2 and 3. Not too far behind is Terence Tang in lane 6, trying to just get over the top of the wave of William Tan. We hit the turn here for the final 25. Adonis Giotopoulos still well and truly in the lead. He was out like lightning in the first 50, 24.56. As we hit the flags, it's head down. Let's see what time he hits. It's 51.03 for Adonis Giotopoulos. Second will be William Tan. And third to Zachary Scherer. 53.82. So all 3 of those boys under 53. It's definitely going to be tight for who wants a spot for tonight. There might have been someone knocked out by a small margin from the previous heats. As here comes heat 4. Breaking out, we've got 4 swimmers for heat 4. Just a couple of withdrawals from the outside lanes. So Lucas Campbell as well as Yash Kanugo taking us out here, just slightly ahead of James McGrath in lane 3. They're our top 3 at the 50 metre mark. William Thraves sitting in 4th, but Yash is just got a half a body's length heading into the turn. It's definitely going to need a big turn here to maintain his lead. which he does very well. We've got 10 metres here to go. Let's see if he can maintain his lead. James McGrath coming up on the other side. Hit the touch. 55.26 for Yash Kanungo. Lucas Campbell will take second, and James McGrath in third. 56.37, so only 0.17 to split second and third. So we're back to 100 metres breaststroke, but this time it is our 17s and 18s age group. We've got 3 heats here again. Felix Dressel de Bruyne is our fastest qualifier here, 59.96, the only person under 60 seconds. But Hugh Cran is looking to take it out with him in these heats, try and give him a little push. So 29.16 for Dressel de Bruyne, Cran in second, 29.34. Third is Ryan Chung in lane 6. Mitchell Davies as well, also sitting in that top 4. It's still neck and neck between our 2 leaders. It's the final turn here, but De Bruyne is so fast on and off those walls, a really important skill to have. But the split strokes from Cran is keeping him in the mix here. We move into the flags now. Dressel de Bruyne's holding on to a nice lead here. We're touching on 101.68. Cran will take second, 102.77. Davies in third, 104.72. So Thomas Sutherland withdrawing from this race after a great campaign overseas in Romania at the Junior World Championships with 2 other Victorians, Lily Koch and Henry Allen. So it is a great opportunity for some of these boys to maybe get a medal tonight when the second seed is out of the event completely. We've got Eugene Tu and Nikolai Trophy Machine touching first and second, only 0.3 to separate them. Tom Yukuhart in third, not too far behind. It's still really anyone's race for the top position here. It's stroke for stroke as we head into the final turn. It's all definitely going to come down to this split stroke and who can maintain that speed off the wall. They both do a great job of that. It's still stroke for stroke with 10 metres to go. We hit the flag. Looks like Trophy Machine is slightly ahead. He touches in a 106.27. Eugene Tu will get third. Tom Yukuhart taking second, just touching him out, 107.25.
And this is heat 3 of 3 in the pool away in swimming. Now it is our middle lanes we should be watching here. Harry Heath has had an absolutely stacked program. We've watched Ashley Nichols race already this morning. So coming underneath the flags now, lane 5, Harry Heath will take out that first 50.
So both boys hitting the 50 metres at 30 points apiece, only half a second to split them. Ash Nicol definitely having some fantastic underwaters, and it's looking like he's going to catch up here over this final split stroke. Harry Heath we've seen in some more distancy events It's looking like Nichols has just taken the reins here as we head into the flags. There's centimetres to separate them. It'll come down to the touch. It is going to be Nichols to get the touch. 103.83. Heath in second, 104.24. And third will go to lane 6, Hugh Fithy, 106.1. So we are up to heat number 1 here of our backstroke event here. It's definitely a fantastic start here. About 100 IM, sorry. Donga athlete in the middle, taking us out real quick. Billy Main, Yi Yang not too far behind. He's gaining significantly. He had a cheeky look there over the breaststroke, but it is still Main from Wodonga leading us into this freestyle leg. Nice long loping stroke here. He's putting on a significant amount of distance. I think he wants a centre lane for tonight. Last touch, 106.53 for Main. Second will go to Yi Yang from Haileybury, and Gabriel Yao will take third, 109.88. Heat 2 now of our 12 years 100 metres medley. Daniel Mancini in the centre lane, Thomas Grasso and Damaris Padovani either side. Josh Coe looking to stay on the shoulder of Grasso over this backstroke leg. It is looking like Mancini and Grasso are separating themselves, so they touch 31.8 and 32.1. Damaris Padovani in third. Coaches giving a yell to athletes to pick up the rate over this breaststroke leg. You've got to consider this 4:25 sprint. We always see a bit of a shake-up over the breaststroke leg, but it's still looking like things stand the same off the wall. Daniel Mancini powering away here, trying to keep his body's length lead on Damaris Padovani, who had a fantastic breaststroke leg. As we enter in for the final strokes, it's a 109.77 for Mancini. Damaris Padovani to take second, 110.59, and Thomas De Grasso not too far away, only 0.02 behind in a 110.61.
And this is heat 3 of our 100-metre medley. Now, I always really like watching this one over short course because it is that event that you can only race over short course because it's 25 metres of each stroke.
So it's looking like our first touch is going to be out in lane 6, Lucas Du. Our centre lane, Jaden Lee, touching second, Aaron Liu in third out of lane 3. We've got a 3-horse race here, all Nunna Wadding represents. Entering the flags together. As we hit the touch now, is going to be Tommy Zhao in lane 5 to touch first, climbing from 4th to 1st. As we're powering here, the teammates are battling it out. Definitely be a little bit of bragging rights as to who wins this after. We hit the touch now. It's 110.12 for Jaden Lee. Second will go to Tommy Zhao. And third will go down to Lucas Du in lane 6, 113.28. Heat 4 now. It's still very even after the butterfly leg.
Yeah, we talk about that breaststroke being that make or break stroke in an IAM. So if it's really your strong point, if you end the breaststroke ahead, you're most likely going to keep your lead in that freestyle. But you watch a lot of swimmers it not be their strength, and then they really drop back in that breaststroke.
So at the moment, our centre lane, Patrick Clark, is still just holding on to his lead. Callum Kapoor as well, starting to hit the touch here in first. He's caught right up in the breaststroke. That's what we're saying. The breaststroke leg can make such a difference in this event. We're powering through. Lots of waving from our coaches from Ringwood as we come under the flags, head down, long strokes. We hit the touch. It is going to be Callum Kapoor to touch first, 114.98. Second to Ethan Dennison in lane 6, and third to Patrick Clark, 115.31. Heat 5 here for our 12 years 100 metres medley. It's looking like our end lanes are the ones to take us out fastest here. Chan up in lane 0 on the top of your screen. He's got a good body length ahead of his teammate in the centre lane, Austin Baxter. So Chan to touch first. Baxter not too far behind. Third will be Bailey Stone in lane 1. So still moving through this breaststroke leg. We're definitely going to see some shifts through. William Jaja in lane 8, moving nicely through the pack in the breaststroke. He's going to be touching in first. So from 7th to 1st on the breaststroke. Let's see if he can hold on here. Miguel Labanco is going to try and keep up with him. But a fantastic freestyle leg from Andrew Chan up top. He's overtaken and he will touch in a 114.22. William Jaja to touch in second, 115.69. And third to Miguel Labanco, 116.08.
And this is heat 6 of 7 away in racing. Looks like having a great butterfly leg there is our lane 8 swimmer.
So halfway through the backstroke, it's still quite even. But Hong Jae Chan has started to make his move, as well as lane 7, Jordan Galicchio. Shun Gill's going to touch in first though. He lunges in 36.09. Hong Jae Chan in second. Cohen Boothman with the lead at the 25. He's sitting in third. We're seeing now some shake-ups over this breaststroke leg. SGB swimmer Shun Gill to try and catch up. Jordan Galicchio though is powering away here out of lane 7. Really nice 6-speed kick. He's got a good half body's length ahead. He's coming into the finish now. He gets the touch. 1:17.00 for Jordan Galicchio. Elric Keith Agoba in second, 1:18.28, and third will go to Shun Gill from Yarra Plenty Waves. Seventh and final heat.
And this is our final heat of our 12-year-olds 100-metre medley. Just the 3 swimmers in the water for this final heat. You've got Jack, Raphael and Owen.
So Max is out in front at the moment, still stroke for stroke between Butterus and Barnes in lanes 4 and 5. Again, this back to breast turn is so important. We do see quite a few different turn styles on the back to breast, whether it's a backflip, an open turn or a switch turn. But Lomax is holding his lead really nicely. He's actually extended it by a body's length at least. Raphael Butterus in second, Owen Barnes still in third. So the placings are looking like they're going to hold. Lomax now, big 6-speed kick powering away from Butterus. And Barnes has now only got 5 metres to go here. He was entered with a 1:20.38. It's going to be a big PB for him. 1:18.13 for Jack Lomax. Second will be Raphael Butterus in a 1:20.76. And third to Owen Barnes, 1:23.87.
This is heat 1 of our 13-year-olds 100-metre IM. So there are 7 heats in this one this morning.
So heat 1 here, dead centre is Han Tan Wang, our 200-metre freestyle record breaker last night. 1:52.99 was the time he went. An insane time for that age. He's definitely got a bright future ahead, but at the moment he is being pressed by Ethan Carr in lane 5, as well as Chris Zhu, who's having a fantastic start on the breaststroke. So our 2 centre lanes are going to touch slightly apart, but a great underwater from Wang. Let's see how he goes in this freestyle leg. He's got a big loping stroke. He's going to overtake Carr into the finish. He touches first, 1:04.18 for Wang. Second will go to Carr in a 1:04.76, and third to Jaden Tran, who had a great final 50 metres, 1:05.65. Heat 2 now. They hit the turn here. Archie Smythe, Andrew Wayne taking us out nicely. Cooper Scott not too far behind, as well as Peter Kim shifting into that second position. We hit the touch. It's a backflip turn for Smythe, 28.87. Second will be Peter Kim. Third to Cooper Scott. So let's see what shifts over this breaststroke 25. And it's looking like Peter Kim here from Surrey Park is starting to just creep into the lead here. He's only got a hand's length ahead on the touch of Archie Smythe. So we'll see how they battle it out here. We saw in the previous heat a 104 from Hantang Wang. It's a head down on the finish here. Final stroke in 103.77. So Peter Kim is our fastest qualifier so far. Archie Smythe in second, 104.21. And third between them is Cooper Scott, 106.84. Heat 3 now, so our top 30 are here racing, and Lachlan Bull off to a great start, another Wadding swimmer. Joseph McInerney, lane 5. Evan Yam as well at the top of your screen here. Fantastic start. Let's see how we go on the touch here. It's a 30.01 for Lachlan Bull. Second to Thomas Poppins. Third is Evan Yam at the top of your screen. But Lachlan Bull is storming away here over this breaststroke leg. Nuttawading always fantastic across the breaststroke events. We hit the touch here. Lachlan Bull asserting himself very nicely. Thomas Poppins caught up on that breaststroke, but Evan Yam's flying down the pool at the top of his screen, but it's not going to be enough to catch up to Lachlan Bull, who finishes here in a 102.95. So again, the top seed has been replaced. Second to Evan Yam, 105.44 from out in lane 0. And third to Joseph McInerney, 106.32.
This is heat 4, Wayne Racing. So we're nearing the end of our IMs. Now off to a flying start there is lane 1. He'll take out that first 25, but can he maintain that across the backstroke and the breaststroke leg?
So Douglas Lee now, he's got a body's length ahead of the rest of the field, but you've got to watch out for lane 4, Aiden Adverhove, who's built that 25 really nicely. These 100-metre events, you've got to assert yourself and set your pace and skills on the second 25 in order to set up that final 50 metres. So it's still going to be Lee in lane 1 leading us off. His fantastic breaststroke, just powering forward. Now he hits the turn. We have, again, another change in the second place. Bobby Zhang in lane 6. I don't think it's going to be enough, though, to catch our leader, Douglas Lee. He's going to finish here in a 107.21. Bobby Zhang holds on to second, 110.49. Third place will be lane 8, Evan Toe. So some shake-ups from our outer lanes as we move to heat 5. Heat 5 now for our 13 years 100 medleys. First touch is going to be in lane 1 again for the second heat in a row. Matthew Dan. Matthew swimming out of Melbourne Swim Club. Moving smoothly through is going to be the fastest of the heat. Lane 4, Sean Wayne. Very even on the backstroke touch. That turn is so important. Some people kind of miss the timing and glide in. Others get their hand on the wall nice and firm and are able to continue that momentum and speed into the third 25 here. But we do have a new leader in Norgate out of lane 8.
Yeah. No, there's food coming out. Stop.
It still is anyone's race here, though. It's looking like the Nuttawading swimmer Aaron Guan's going to get the touch, but it actually is Matthew Dan to just hold on. 0.15 to split our first and second. Third will be Benjamin Nolan in lane 6, 1:11.15. Sixth and out of 7 of our heats here for the men's 13 years 100 metres medley. So lanes 4 and lane 6 are going to be the ones to touch us out in first 25. But still, anyone's race here. The backstroke, we've got to set up for that final 50. It's looking like lane 3's Oliver Brown just creeping up ahead here, as well as lane 7, Sanduka in Bulana. He'll touch in second. Third down in lane 8, Lachlan Tregoweth here. So it's dead even. Let's see who wants to make their move here across the third 25. In Bulana, still looking fantastic on this breaststroke. Luca Yao, though, great breaststroke, as well as Henry Garland. Just coming off the wall slightly ahead, but Oliver Brown out in lane 3. Also at the top of your screen, Samuel Hand catching right up over that breaststroke. He's sitting in second right now. The coaches are waving. Who is going to take this heat out? It is Oliver Brown. Samuel Hand in second. Third will go to Luca Yao in lane 6, but a very close heat here. Not a lot separating those middle placings. We move now to our final heat. Great variety here for our final heat of clubs representing. We have from Ivanhoe Swim to St. Kevin's, all the way out to Monbulk and Hunting Tower. This is going to be the East Gippsland swimmer, though, Cooper Westwood, to take us out in first, as well as Azza Darwood in lane 7, having a great butterfly and backstroke leg now. They're really attacking this second 25 here to try and separate themselves from the field. It's going to be Azza Darwood in lane 7, the outside smoke to touch first. Second will be Westwood. Third is Riley Burnett from Ivanhoe Swim in lane 1. So our outer lanes here doing well to work that first 50 and try and get ahead of the rest of the field. It's even on the turn here, but Burnett's slightly ahead as we head into the freestyle. But who's going to have more energy? It's looking like Azza Darwood, as well as Westwood here, powering through. Really nice 6-speed kick to steal the lead off our outside lanes. He's going to touch in a 1:13.22. Second to Azza Darwood, and third, Cohen Chan just getting the touch. So a real back and forth final heat here as we move now to our 14 years 200 metres butterfly.
We're starting event 108 with the 200-metre butterfly for our 14-year-olds. Now, there is 2 heats of this event today, which is so awesome to see because 200 fly is quite the challenge. So seeing so many athletes take on that challenge, therefore we can have 2 heats, is really nice to see. Now, touching in first there was Ishaq Ismail with a sub-30 time, our only sub-30 time in that first 50 on the board, 29.63.
This 200 butterfly is just all about energy management and holding your technique for as long as possible, utilising the walls efficiently, especially over this second 50. A lot of people will try to push just a little too hard on the second 50 and they'll suffer in the final 100 metres. Ishaq Ismail, though, even with his big program, he's out in a 105.54. Second to Michael Fan, 106.7, and not too far behind is Magalotti out in lane 3. So the 3 centre lanes establishing themselves out in front. Got to just be careful on those turns, though. You don't want to spend a lot of time on the wall, as inviting as it is to stay on the walls and have a bit of rest. You do want to be on and off quick because it's going to help carry the speed over into the underwaters and into the breakouts here. As we transition to our final 50, it's still Ismail out in front, 142.73. Just 0.9 ahead of Michael Fan. He's doing a great job, Fan, of being on and off the walls a lot quicker than Ismail. As we hit the final 25 here, Magalotti's still in third. Lane 6 as well in fourth. It's looking like our field is quite scattered and these positions are going to hold. But Ishaq is powering home here into his final stroke. He touches in a 2:19.01. Second to 2:22.24 for Michael Fan. Third will go to Oscar Magalotti from Nuttawading, 2:24.23.
And we kick off heat 2 of our 200-metre butterfly.
So Sebastian Bullen from DVE, our second fastest qualifier, with a 2:18.84. So his PB sitting on not too far behind the time that Ismail Ishaq went in the previous heat. But lane 5, Aston Wilson will touch slightly ahead. Sebastian Bullen not too far behind, as well as Liam Joy. So our 3 middle lanes again. Westbourne swimmer Thomas Sahar and Hugo Pankhurst in lane 7 as well. Just sticking with them over this first 75 metres. It still is Thomas Sahar here, looking like he wants a central lane for tonight. All right, our final stroke here into our halfway. It's 106.24 for Aston Wilson. Second to Sebastian Bullen. Third to Liam Joy. Our Nuttawading swimmer here. Nuttawading having a great meet as always. So many numbers and so much talent as well. Coach is doing a fantastic job there. But it is going to be the Surrey Park swimmer to just get overtaken over that turn. Sebastian Bullen wanting to work that third 50. He's doing a great job maintaining his rate. Here we're entering the flags for our second last turn. 142.42, so almost a second separating him and Aston Wilson now. That's what we talked about. You've got to build over that middle 100 only slightly. If you just cross the line too much, you will suffer in the latter stages of the race. Sebastian Bullen's experience in this event has gotten him out in first position now by a good 2 bodies lengths. He's going to maintain that position. Ashton Wilson solid in second. Liam Joy in third, well ahead of our other 4 swimmers. We hit the touch. It's 2:18.53 for Sebastian Bullen. Second to Aston Wilson, 2:20.98. And third place will go to Liam Joy from Nuttawading, 2:24.61.
Let's go, Pete.
So a big change in distance here from 200. We're doubling it up to 400 and changing the stroke to freestyle. It's our men's 15 to 18 years 400 freestyle. We have 4 heats here and a very big mix of age groups as well in this first heat. We've got Liam Paulson in lane 1, only 15 years old, from Camberwell. Our centre lane, Oscar Campbell, 18 years, swimming out of Nuttawading. His entry time the fastest, 4:01.88. Next to him, Eli Billman. I'm not sure if he'll be enjoying having to race a 400. His coach, Arco, said that he is going to be racing some of those higher distance events, help with the back ends of his 100 metres and 200 metres that he prefers. He's looking very smooth at the moment, but is lanes 1 and 2 leading us out. Our younger swimmers, Liam Paulson, he's entered with a 4:09.98, and at the moment is setting a very fast first 100, 56.87. Matthew Moran from Bayside in second. Over this 400 metres, it's all about the second and third 50, setting your pacing for the centre of the race so that you can really descend down the final 200 metres of the event. You want to make sure you're out quick and making sure it's easy. We call that easy speed in swimming. Making sure you're efficient with your energy, not overusing the legs, getting the most out of every single stroke. But putting the pressure on the second and third 50 does warm your body to make shifts later in the race. But still, Paulson and Moran out in front. Billman in third. Callum Rosetto sitting on his hip, as well as Cody said down the bottom, keeping up as well. We've just seen some great swims from the outside lanes. If you've got a lane, you've got a chance, they do say.
Just while we're swimming our 400s, just quickly to highlight, we have 1,375 athletes competing across our weekend. We have 4,877 entries and 87 clubs being represented at our 2025-2026 UNCLOUD Victorian Age Short Course Championships. Now, just quickly to plug a few of our amazing sponsors, Funky Trunks and Funkita have been major sponsors of Swimming Victoria for 9 years. Their swimwear and products embody a sport that blends modern innovation with a rich historical legacy, partnering with quality Australian companies like the way Funky Company allows Swimming Victoria to provide swimmers with excellent experiences today while ensuring better opportunities in the future. Make a statement with their bold and colourful designs and check out their website or visit the pop-up shop upstairs. And then, of course, we have our partnership with the UNCLOUD campaign across all of our upcoming events and programs this short course season. With more young people vaping every year, UNCLOUD creates a space for young people to hear from their peers, to share their experiences, thoughts and feelings, to have a voice. UNCLOUD is a hub to find peer-reviewed, scientifically backed information about vapes and see vaping for what it is. But more importantly, it's a platform for young Australians to warn each other about the horrors of vaping. Visit uncloud.org to find out more.
So a great finish there to our races. We're just reading off some sponsorships. It is Oscar Campbell that takes out this heat. It's William Paulson second, Moran third, and Billman fourth. So let's see across these next three heats how this shakes up the individual age group placings. So first 25 down of our 400 freestyle. Very smooth is Surrey Park's Darcy Stewart in lane 2. Nice loping stroke, low on the turns as well. He's out 27.38 on this first 50. Second, Oliver Moxon. Third on the other side of Stewart is Sutherland. And it's just about getting out and setting the speed now. You want to make sure you're not overworking those legs across the first 200 metres. You see some swimmers very balanced through their swims. Some tend to have a lope. Really depends on just what is comfortable for the athlete. Either is fast as long as you are maintaining length. It's more of a rhythm than anything for those wondering. But propulsion swimmer Oliver Moxon starting to move through the field, as well as Darcy Stewart just separating themselves out here. Moxon's coach, Robbie Dillison, a very good previous open water swimmer representing Australia in Israel at one of the open water World Cups. Open water events are fantastic experience to get into if you are racing the 400, 800, 1500. There is all sorts of distances now. They've added in the knockout event on the world stage where they swim a 3 kilometre race. It's broken into a 1500. Then the slowest swimmers in that 1500 are knocked out. They move into a 1 kilometre swim, and then a final 500 between the remaining athletes after the 2 knockout stages, and it is a big battle. We do have a very good open water swimmer as well in the state, Nick Sloman, who moved down from Noosa Swimming Club last year and represented Australia now at the Olympics Games in Paris, as well as the previous World Championships. He's also now in Darwin representing Melbourne Vic Centre and Victoria at our Australian World Cup tour. It is Western Melbourne Propulsion's Oliver Moxon, looking very smooth, holding his rate here, and his legs still looking very soft. Darcy Stewart not too far behind, as well as William Cowell and Marley Sutherland. So as we enter into the final 100 metres, we will start to see some legs start to turn on, some rates start to increase, and some positions start to change. But Moxon's really established himself out in front. He's got a good couple seconds ahead of Stewart and Sutherland. Sutherland starting to make his move with 75 metres to go, trying to get ahead of Stewart. Fourth, Ben Merrilees. We've seen him across this meet so far. Fantastic in the middle distance events. But still all Moxon, 50 metres to go. He's just split slightly faster than his previous 50, 31.61 there. So look for him to try and dart home in under 30 seconds. Extend his lead, put his name in the ringer for a medal in his age group. He is 17 years old. A tight battle for second and third for this heat, but Moxon takes our first 4:06.82. We're lunging into the touch. Second will go to Sutherland, 4:12.10. And third, Darcy Stewart holding on to a top three place, 4:12.59. Heat 3 here of our men's 15 to 18 years 400 metres freestyle, our second last race for the morning, running ahead of schedule, which is going to give our athletes some more time to recover between races. At the moment, leading us out is Tommy Golding from Ivanhoe Swim, as well as teammate Xavier Chi. But just sneaking ahead of him into this first turn is going to be Ashton Robinson, another Wadding swimmer. We've seen the coaches cheering him on along the side. A lot of the coaches that have been stuck over at the Horton pool have made their way across here to the Mcconnell pool to support our final male swimmers for this morning session. Golding still holding his lead here. He's been racing some open water races as well as the 8 and the 1500, finding a love for the distance events. Xavier Chi looking smooth as well, but Ashton Robinson still holding his lead here. So Ashton Robinson in lane 5, swimming out of Nunna Cheltenham. His entry time is 4:20.4, 16 years of age. Only the 115-year-old in this heat, Jesse Pratt from Furbank. As well as Ben Heinen from Geelong Sharks in lane 8. We've had actually 2 withdrawals from this heat as well. Pereira in lane 2, as well as Pizzoli in lane 7. So Chi has stolen the lead just slightly. He's starting to work across this fourth 50 to be halfway. So we hit the turn here. It's 2:07.55 for Xavier Chi. Second, so still in the top 2 is Ashton Robinson. Third is Zayden Burton in lane 4. So our centre lane starting to creep up. Our fastest in this heat, only by 0.06, is Zayden Burton from Traralgon, 16 years of age. Tommy Golding now starting to move. You'll probably see him start to make a shift later in the race, swimming those open water events as well as the 15, but Chi's still in the lead. Looking very smooth out there in lane 1. Robinson as well, just splitting faster than that fourth 50. Very equal for all those minor placings, and she's only just ahead of the rest of the field. It's going to be a tight final 100 metres after this turn. There's about a half a body's length in it. Burton starting to now creep up. He's only 0.6 behind Chi in lane 1. He's now breathing towards him. Xavier is breathing away, so we could see a shift here in lead. Very fast turn there out in lane 1, but Burton with a nice smooth breakout, and a lot of people underestimate how important the breakouts are. It might be the fastest way to travel is underwater, but if you do not have a good breakout and you do get stuck, so starting your stroke early or starting your stroke too late on the surface of the water, you are going to lose all of your speed. And Burton now hammering home across this final 25 here as he breaks out. Big 6-beat kick. He's put a body's length ahead of the field. Golding and Robinson battling it out. Cheese put his name back into the mix. The teammates battling it out, but it's Burton to take the win for 17.9, a big PB for him. Chi holds on to second, 0.1 behind his teammate Tommy Golding, and Ashton Robinson will finish in fourth. Fourth and final heat here is our 400 metres freestyle men's 15 to 18. Centre lane, 15 years, Leon Vidal from Ivanhoe Swim. Got a couple Bayside swimmers in here, 4 in fact, James McGrath, Angus Little, Louis Charat and Keegan Bilsma. At the moment, Little is taking us out here in first place, as well as Keegan Bilsma. So 4 Bayside swimmers, coach Lex Sandakis will be watching on from the coach's area. So the great thing about having all your teammates in the race is you guys are going to be able to bounce off of each other with your strengths and weaknesses. If someone's coming up from the 100, 200, you know they're going to be out quick. If someone's coming down from the 8 or the 15, you know that they're going to have a solid back end, so you can use that to your advantage. Leon Vidal, though, staying in the mix with our top 2 from Bayside, or top 3 in fact. So Leon competing in the 400 IM as well, had a big personal best time. So we know that he is fit to race these 400 metres events. It's still our 3 Bayside boys, though, leading the charge. See, though, we did see a lot of changes across the previous heat, especially from our winner in lane 4, Zayden Burton, who really made his play across that final 150 metre mark. It's looking like Leon Vidal is going to do the same here. He's just taken over the lead, slightly ahead of Charat in lane 8. Now Vidal leading the way. So 150 metres to go. Vidal turns first, 241.13. Charat, Little and Bilsma, Bayside trio in second, third and fourth. So 125 now. And Vidal is just storming off here, using that final back end. He turns 313.41. He could be on here for a significant PB. His entry 427.59. He's got a full body's length of James McGrath. Sorry, Angus Little. It still is all Leon Vidal as he's closing in to begin his final 50. He's bringing those legs in. It's looking like Little's just lost his cap, so hopefully his hair's not getting in the way and causing some issues. He's still in second, 0.01 ahead of teammate Sherratt. Down in lane A, Bilsma not too far behind on the hip of Sherratt, but it is going to be Leon Vidal significantly ahead here. Only second and third turning now. He's got almost half a pull on them. So we're coming down to the touch. This is a massive PB here from Vidal. It's an 11-second personal best here, 4:16.65 for the winner of our final race of the morning. Second to Sherratt, 4:21.08, and Angus Little in third, 4:22.23, 0.1 faster than his teammate Keegan Bilsma. So that is our final race for the morning session. It's going to be a fantastic set of races tonight. We've already seen some PBs from our top qualifiers, people with big programs. This is when things start to shake up. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you guys tonight.